Welcome to WinSouls TV. This is your host, Jeff Thomas. So today we have a message about having doubt over actually taking action. And one of the people in the Word that has more doubt than anybody that I have read about and makes more excuses than one of the people and makes more excuses than anybody that I have read about is Moses in the Word. I just talked about him last video. Now I'm talking about him again. So let's jump right on into it. One of the verses that we will be using today is Exodus 4:1. Now the Lord is telling him all of these things that he will be doing, displaying all of these specific signs in order to prove to to the Egyptians that this is the Lord speaking and that he should let the Israelites go. And listen to some of the excuses that Moses comes up with simply because he is a coward. He's a coward, in my personal opinion, and he's just afraid. He's just afraid of the unknown. But listen, and Moses answered, "Behold, they will not believe me or listen to and obey my voice. For they will say, the Lord has not appeared to you." Now, let's move on to the next verse, which is Exodus 4:10. And Moses said to the Lord, "O Lord, I am not eloquent or a man of words, neither before nor since you have spoken to your servant. For I am slow of speech and have a heavy and awkward tongue." Let's go to another verse. Exodus 4:13. And he said, "Oh my Lord, I pray you, send by hand some other person whom you will send." Let's go to another verse. Exodus 6:12. But Moses said to the Lord, "Behold, the Israelites have not listened to me. How then shall Pharaoh give heed to me? Who am I of deficient and impeded speech?" Now, one of the things that you will notice in all of the verses that I have said here is that Moses was coming up with an excuse for every single thing that the Lord had for him to do and what the Lord was telling him that he would be used to do. He was coming up with an excuse. But another thing on the flip side of everything that the Lord was telling him to do, he was just asking him to take the step. And by taking that step of faith, the Lord would glorify it. And then his power would be released. But check this out. Every time Moses came up with an excuse, the Lord followed it up with either "I would be with you" or "this is going to happen by you doing this." So it was never an expression of Moses. It was always an expression of God. You see? And not only that, in our personal lives, one of the first things that you will notice about Moses is that he was too concerned about what other people thought of him. He was too concerned about, the Israelites might not obey me. Or what will people think of me if I have a speech impediment? Or, if the Israelites don't even obey me now, what would Pharaoh think? One thing that you'll also notice is that you understand how human these people are, and the same struggles that they were going through then are the same fears and struggles that we are going through right now. But the Lord in the Word is saying then and now, because he is the same yesterday, today, and forever, Hebrews 13:8, that it's not about you, nor has it ever been about you. It is about your expression of daughtership and sonship and walking that out in the fullness of Christ and allowing him to move through you as his servant and him being your master. Allow the kingdom to be glorified through you rather than doubting when the Lord is telling you to move. Allow the Lord to move however he will in your life and take those steps of obedience so that you may see the kingdom of God manifest within your life. When we come up with all of these excuses, yes, the Lord will comfort us, but at the same time, sometimes he will pass you up and use somebody else that is willing to move. Now here, he comforted Moses, and he came and he touched him, and hey, Moses, hey, you know what? You got a speech impediment? I'm going to give you Aaron. Let's use Aaron to speak. Hey, you know what? All you got to do is just take this staff as a sign. I know that they might not believe you, but take this staff as a sign. And one of these times you're going to use that staff, and these people that practice magic in the dark arts and all of this stuff, they won't be able to do the things that you can do because they're counterfeits. The same thing is within your life. Every time that you doubt the Lord, he may come up with a place in your life showing you the full expression of what he can do through you. All it takes is just a step. And that time is now. That time is now. Let's not put it off until tomorrow. If he's calling you to do something specific, let's get it going now. Because tomorrow isn't promised, and tomorrow has its own problems. Let's be concerned about the things of today. Let's wake up, old sleeper. You guys be blessed.